In this video, we are carving and proofing our Hasui reproduction. In the last video, I showed how I traced and separated the color blocks in Photoshop. Now let's get started. Let's start with the background color, but first we need to remove the Gampi paper. Spray some water on the lino and slowly peel it away. Next, we are mixing our oil pigments for the background color. I use a test sheet to sample all my colors first. Let's roll out our ink and apply it to the block. Check the surface for any imperfections. I used a Baron for this impression. And here is our first color layer. I'm also experimenting with this naturally toned washi. I notice it's a shade darker in value compared to the white washi. Let's prepare our next block for carving. I am carving each block and then test printing it as I go along for this proof. Now we will glue down the design using nori, which is a water-based paste. I'm treating this linoleum the same way I would treat a woodblock. I'm carving the kento, using the same carving tools, and using the same washi. The only main difference is the oil-based pigments and the linoleum. After the transfer sheet is glued down, we slowly peel the backing sheet off our design. And here it is, a new color block ready to be carved. I'm switching to another background block here. This block will provide two gradations in the background. These gradations are subtle and allow a small detail at the bottom and at the horizon of the print. Jumping to our first block again, we use just the top portion of the block to generate a very dark, rich gradation in the sky. You may notice I printed a gray-toned wave block. I forgot to record that impression. My apologies. Here is our print so far after 4 impressions. We are halfway through this design. The outlines are finished on this block. Here's a close-up of the corner kento or registration mark. And here's a view of the block being cleared. After clearing, I smooth out all the ridges left behind by the U-gouge. Let's remove our transfer sheet. We ink up the new block with a transparent gray color. I add transparent base to these inks to get a more transparent tone, similar to traditional woodblock printmaking. This block really starts to bring the print together. Moving along to the island detail block. We glue this block down exactly the same way. And here I'll show you some detailed carving. I'm using the same tools I use to carve wood blocks. The linoleum is much softer, but I'm able to get a lot of detail, very similar to wood. After carving the edges, I clear with a larger U-gouge. This is a fun step for me. Again, we clear off the design. And this block is ready. Let's mix up our new color and test a sample on our color sheet. I'm testing the color first on a blank sheet of printer paper. Now let's take the impression. With only one more color to go, I'm really happy with this so far. Now let's jump to our final color block. This is a black block that brings out the details in the trees in the foreground. And here it is, the finished proof for our Hasui reproduction, titled Moon at Matsushima. And here are the two papers side by side. Let me know in the comments below which color you prefer. Remember, this is a reproduction of a Mokuhanga print, and I'm trying to replicate the look or the style using Western printmaking materials. It's a bit of a hybrid technique that I'm experimenting with. I hope you enjoyed this video showing some carving and the printing process for this proof. Stay tuned for my next video in this series where we will print an edition of this design. Until next time, happy carving and happy printing.